The surface contour melt is in blurred panels, creating diffusion at the root. We follow the curvature of the head, which is perfect to decorate our urban gypsy haircut. Embrace the surface contour melt to contour any face shape. We're going to begin with our partings here, isolating the black and the green zone here on the top by separating it out on the sides, on the right and the left side ridges and the rear ridge. After that, you'll want to isolate our red zone. And our red zone will continue all the way through the nape here. Lastly, you'll want to make sure to isolate the last 2 inches of the blue zone in the nape. Remember, you're clipping away the black and the green zone for later. We'll be addressing just the front of the hairline here, working in balayage. We're going to begin in panel A, here dropping out the last 2 inches of the nape in the blue zone. It's important that the first thing that you do before your lightening process is outline your subsection with your base formula. Today we're choosing to work with 1 part of our 5R cherry with 1 part of our 3N dark chocolate with 20 volume enzyme cream activator. As we start to work into our contour color here in the nape section, we're going to choose to work with foil. The reason being is because we want a controlled environment for maximum lift. Make sure that when you fold the foil, the lip of the foil is living on the outside to ensure consistency in lightening. We're going to place it here in panel A, nice and tightly underneath. Do notice that I did separate that panel into 2 just because of the density of Megan's hair. We'll pick up our Pure Blonde formula, and our Pure Blonde formula is 1 part of our powder to 2 parts of our enzyme cream activator of a 30 volume. We'll make sure to generously apply that Pure Blonde because we want an opportunity for that hair to really absorb. Within our urban gypsy color today, we are looking for that maximum pop so we can get that contrast and then that perfectly blurred panel. Now that we have that application of our base formula, locking the foil in, kissing the base and saturating with Pure Blonde down to the ends, we're going to get in with our bamboo boar bristle brush and a technique called the BALAY brush. We'll work with the corner of our brush. The reason being is it will create maximum diffusion. Whenever you work with corners and color placement or triangular sections, it creates a lot of softness. As you notice, we went through with the brush and we combed 1, 2, and 3. We'll now drop that down and simply taking another foil, we'll just place that over top. Starting in the bottom area of our red zone, we're going to travel in zigzag sections through the red zone, ending at the temple. We're starting in the red zone because we want maximum lift to really respect that contrast between the dark and the light. Typically, fine hair lives within that red zone. We're gonna get in and we're just going to zig down a section and just clip that out of the way. We'll grab a foil, take that underneath here, take your base formula, and you'll wanna lock that in. Following, we'll take our Pure Blonde and we're just going to lightly kiss that formula of our base all the way out into the ends. Notice that if the hair is denser, we're going to fan out this Lightner application to give the Pure Blonde an opportunity to really penetrate. We'll then get in with our BALAY brush and using the boar bristles, we'll comb with the corner 1, 2, and 3. This will allow texture in our finish and our contour color application. We'll put foil on foil and just lightly crisp those corners. That next section then, because we zigged, we're now going to get in and zag. So as you can see through the red zone, traveling on that zigzag, we're creating small triangular sections which breaks up that color. Because we came in last with our section and we zagged, we're now gonna get across and we'll zig. So creating those small triangular sections will allow us to effortlessly break up our color placement here. And using that foil, we can get that beautiful pop of blonde here with our Pure Blonde. So one more section. We're gonna drape that over top here. We'll take our base formula, lock it in. We'll kiss our base formula, saturating that Pure Blonde down. And I'll just take my hand and use that as a wonderful foil support here. She has a denser texture, so we'll just fan that out. And then don't be afraid to use a generous amount of that Pure Blonde. Give that hair an opportunity to absorb. And it completely respects her hair health. Corner of our Balay brush here, 1, 2, and 3. We'll take our foil and we'll place that on top. Working on foil application respects the integrity of the hair fiber. If your guest has an extra long length, please take the time to elongate the foil, as longer hair tends to have fragile ends and they don't deserve to be wrapped up in the foil. So now that we've placed the foil on top, we're going to continue traveling in that zigzag section all the way through the red zone in the exact same fashion on this side and on the other side of our red zone. Now that we have finished working in our red zone in our zigzag sections and working with our Balay brush technique in the foil, we're now going to move on to block coloring with our base color through the remaining blue, black, and a portion of the green zone. Please note we've dropped out 1 inch of the hairline in the green zone that will not be black colored. Now that we've completed our block coloring in the blue, black, and a portion of the green zone, hot tip, drape a piece of cellophane over top so our balayage doesn't disturb the black coloring that we have. We're first going to take our Trinity Tonic. It's our color insurance policy. I'm going to mist that over top, and this is going to nicely strengthen and prepare the hair for that perfect balayage. We'll then get in with our Pure Blonde and load our paddle. I'm right-handed, so we're going to load the paddle on the left-hand side. When loading the paddle, it's important that you load it nice and smooth. We'll then get in with our detailer brush. Taking halfway through the charged area, we'll take our tint brush, drag it off to the right side of that paddle, making sure that it's nice and even with that application. Pinching the hair really nice and tight, we're now going to continue our zigzag through that first 1 inch of the green zone we dropped out through the fringe. And we'll take our detailer here and we'll get in just on the corner, and we're just going to kiss our base formula and lightly pat using light tension and soft tapping motions. So now we'll get in halfway through our charged area, drag more of our Pure Blonde off, and just focusing here on the corner of our tint brush, we're going to lightly kiss our formula using light tapping motions, and we will pat that in. We'll enter again, now working through the mid shaft, and we will pet that through. I'm using more of a medium tension here. So light, we pat using soft tapping motions, and we pet. We're going to mirror the exact same thing on the other side. So pat, and then pet. Before we get into our push zone, which is the last 2 to 3 inches of the hair, I want to do something called surface painting. This takes a small amount of Pure Blonde and uses the full body of that tint brush. We'll just lightly surface paint through that center here and our balayage, giving a bit of a blur and really finishing off our contour. Finally, we'll push those ends, laying them corner to corner for diffusion. Take our charging brush, apply more Pure Blonde, and now we'll push that into the ends here. We'll lift up, lightly blur, and then we'll drop that down. We've now finished our balayage to the top, and now we're going to process. Finished with our process, we are now ready for the overlay. We choose to work with 2.5 parts of our 9G Honey with half a part of our 9C Copper with 7 volume enzyme cream activator.